Hi friends, my name is Aqil Ahmed, and in this particular video tutorial I will show you how to import an XML file into MySQL using SSIS. So this is my profile. I have 13 plus years of experience on Microsoft technologies. So the agenda of today's video tutorial is how to import an XML file into MySQL using SSIS. So let's jump to the demo. I have an XML file situated in my D files location. So the file name is sellers.xml. So maybe I can open this XML file in an Internet Explorer so that I can show you what kind of data we have. So it contains like person's ID, first name, last name, email, gender and countries. So we have around 1000 records in this particular file. So all this particular data will be imported to a MySQL database. Let me close this file. Now let me open the SSIS package. So this is my blank SSIS package that I will be using to import the XML file into MySQL. So we can just drag and drop the data flow task into the control flow window, because data flow task is used to migrate the data. So we can just double click data flow task, and then to read the data from an XML file we will be using the XML source. So there is an XML source that you can use here. So just right click and configure the XML source. There are two things that we need to do for configuring the XML source. The first one is XML location. So we need to browse the XML file that we want to load. So this is the XML file. So we can click on open, and now we need to generate the XSD file for this particular XML file. So XSD file can be generated from the XML source editor itself. So we can just click on generate XSD, and then you can give some name here if you want, otherwise you can just click save. So the sellers.xsd file will be generated by the SSIS package. So this is the file that got generated, and now we can just click columns to make sure how many columns are there. And if you want to, for example, do not load some of the columns, then you can just remove them, or if you want everything, then you can just leave all the columns as it is and you can click OK. So this is how you can configure the XML source. And now to write the data into the MySQL server database, we will be using the ADONet destination. So we can write ADONet here. So this is the ADONet destination. We can just drag and drop into the data flow task, and now we can connect the XML source with the ADONet destination, and we can configure the ADONet destination. Click new to create a new ADONet connection. There was one connection that already exists, so maybe I can delete this one, and I can click new to create a new ADONet connection. Now from the providers type, I can select the ODBC data provider, and now click OK. You need to click on the use connection string, and there is a connection string for MySQL, and I will share this connection string with you in the description of the video, and I will also share the XML file that I am using in this particular video. So maybe you can just use that XML file. So this connection string is actually, it is connecting to the MySQL ODBC 8.0 ANSI driver. This is the driver that it is using, and the server name is localhost of the MySQL, database name is test, and the root is the default user, and the password for the root is MySQL123 in my case. So this is the MySQL workbench, and it contains actually two databases that I created. First one is the test that I will be using in this particular video to import the data to. So I can just copy this particular connection string and I can paste it here, and as soon as you will click on the username, so the username root will be copied from the connection string into this particular text box, and I can write the MySQL password. So MySQL password is MySQL123, and if you click on the test connection, so test connection succeeded, it means that it is able to connect to the MySQL. So I can click OK. Now I can click OK one more time, and if you click on this particular drop down, so it will show you all the available tables from the MySQL database, test database. I can click new to create a new table, click OK. So this is the create table statement that it provided based on the metadata from the XML file. So I can copy this particular create table statement, and maybe I can paste it here in the Notepad++. So I can call the new table as seller, and then I can replace the double quote with a blank string. So this will be the final create table statement, and all the column name and data type I can leave it as it is. So you can replace the existing create table statement and click OK. So the seller table will be created on the MySQL. So if you want to check the table, so you can just refresh the tables here, and now you can see that there is a seller table here, but it should not contain any data as of now because there is no data imported so far. So now you can click on mappings to make sure that all the input columns have been mapped with the destination columns, and if one of the column is not mapped, then you can map them manually as well. Click OK, and now you can start running the SSIS package. So this got failed. I can see what is the error. So it is saying that the specified cast is not valid. Okay, so I think this might be failing because in the seller table the ID is of integer, and I think by default the XML source, it might be returning the column value as varchar. So I can use a data conversion task here. So let me just drag and drop the data conversion task here, and then I can connect the XML source with the data conversion transformation, and then I can just click the data conversion transformation, and then I can change the data type to 4 byte signed integer and click OK, and then I can click OK as well. And now in the ADONet destination, I can just map the new ID column, copy of ID with the ID column destination. So click OK. Now I can again run the SSIS package. So you can see that now the data is loaded successfully into the MySQL server database. So now you can go back to the MySQL, and if you start running this query, so you can see that all data got loaded successfully into the MySQL server table. So sometimes we can get some conversion errors that like we get in this particular case. So you need to make sure that if the data type is different, like there is an ID which is of integer, but from the source by default SSIS returns all data in varchar format by default. So you need to make sure that if you are getting any kind of error, then you need to see what other data type you have in the destination table, and then you should try to convert those columns manually using the data conversion task. So I think that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching the video, and if you like the video, then please click the like button, do subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and click on all so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much.